Welcome to this platform, wherever you're watching me from. If you are watching me from Facebook, make sure to follow my page. If you are watching me from YouTube, make sure to subscribe to my YouTube channel. So this platform normally brings to you reliable online tuitions or tuitions that you can rely on for your exams, or maybe you simply want to catch up, right? So the following subjects are available, that is mathematics, physics, chemistry, biology, civic education. If you want to join, make sure to call 0976 4025 and 63. Right. In today's class, we are going to do functions, or the topic for today, we are going to look at functions. Okay. Now, let us set our objectives. So at the end of the learning, we should be able to find the inverse of the function. We should be able to write the composite functions. So these are our two objectives. Okay, so let us begin. Okay, so the question that is given here is that, given that fx is equals to 3x plus 1 and gx is equals to 4x minus 1, find the A, inverse function, B, find inverse function of 5, then find fgx. Okay, so what are we going to do? So please let me just mention that this question is coming from 2022, that is 2022 school certificate. So that is where I've extracted this question, that is ECZ question. Right, so let us start calculating now. So for the first one, where we find the inverse of this function, how do we find the inverse of this function? So to start with, we are going to start by rewriting the same function, fx is equals to 3x plus 1. Okay, that is step 1 that we are going to do. So you are solving now. Then the next thing, we are going to write it in standard form, where there's fx, we replace y. So we're going to have y is equals to 3x plus 1. Alright, so what is the next thing? The next thing that we are going to do, or the next part that we are going to do, is to find or to make x the subject of formula. So making x the subject of formula, it means that x need to remain alone. Right, so what are we going to do? We shift this one the other side, or we can use the concept of additive inverse, where we say the additive inverse of this one is negative, and also we subtract the other side. Okay, so we are going to have y minus 1 is equals to 3x. So what are we going to do next? We want to find want to make x the subject of formula. So we divide 3, we divide 3. So we are going to have y minus 1 divide 3 is equals to x. At this point, we now switch, we switch the variables, or we exchange the variables. So where y goes where there's x, and x goes where there's y. And therefore we are going to have y is equals to x minus 1 divide 3. This is the inverse of the function. Now we write f inverse x is equals to x minus 1 divide 3. This is the inverse. Okay, for a second one, it's direct because we have the inverse of this function, then negative 5. This means that in the inverse that we found, where there's x, we put negative 5. So the inverse, what is the inverse? F inverse that we found, say negative 5 is equals to, so where there's x, we put negative 5, so it's going to be negative 5 minus 1 divide 3. So on top there, going to have negative 6 divide 3, and the answer is negative 2. So that is f inverse negative 5. Okay. Now let us look at another part, which is the C part. The C part, we are finding the composite function. Okay, composite function, we are just looking at the combination of two functions. Okay, so fgx, okay, we are going to join these two functions. How do we do it? So if it's written in this order, it means that where there's x in the first function, you replace g. Where there's x in the first function, you replace g. Okay, the function gx. So this one can also be written as f g, okay, fgx, like this one. Okay, so now how are we going to do it? So fgx, since we said where there's x in this one, we replace g. What is our f? So our f is this one, 3. Now where there's x, we are going to replace the whole of this one. So we replace where there's x there. And we are going to have 4x minus 1. But there's a plus 1 here, so plus 1. Okay, so what are we going to do? We open the bracket at this point. So multiply this 3 and also 3 multiply negative 1. So 3 multiply 4x, 3 multiply negative 1. Right. So we're going to have 12x minus 3 plus 1. Okay. At this point now, we can find these can be added. And how do we add it? How do we add them? So we get the bigger number, we subtract the smaller number, we maintain the sign of the bigger number. So we're going to have 12x minus this one and this one gives us negative 2. Okay, so this is fg x. If you want, you can factorize it at this point. You say 2, then you remain with 6x minus 1. That is it. So this is the function. Okay, so that is how you simply solve it. Okay, so let us have this one as our second and last question that we are going to solve. This one is coming from 2018, that is GCE. What is the question? Given that fx is equals to 8x and gx is equals to 3x minus 2 divide 4. The question is find the f inverse. So the f inverse, let us just go through this one, a quick one, because we've already calculated the inverse, so we shouldn't find problems on this one. So we write it, fx is equals to 8x. So y is equals to 8x. At this point, we make x the subject of formula, divide 8, divide 8. So x is equals to y divide 8. We switch the variables. What are we going to have? So we're going to have y is equals to 8, that is x divide 8. X divide 8, that is our y. At this point, we can write the inverse as f inverse x is equals to x divide 8. Right, so that is the answer. Then the second one, we are finding the composite or an expression for fxg. So this is just a composite. Now what I said is that in the second function, replace it where there's x in the first one. So fgx, we are going to have, the first one is 8, but there's x here, so the whole of this one, we are going to replace where there's what? Where there's x. So we're going to have 3x minus 2 divide 4, okay, plus, okay, just like this. So now what is going to happen? What is going to happen here is that you are multiplying this 8 and whatever is inside. Okay, so this one, in multiplying this one, 4 into 4, that is 1. Here is 2. So you remain with fgx is equals to 2 outside, 3x minus 2. Okay, this one. That is fgx. Okay. Then what is the other one? The C1. The C1 says, find the value of x for which fgx is equals to 20. Find value of x for which fgx, the whole of this function, that is fgx is equals to, you equate it to 20. So what is the function that we found? 3x minus 2. We equate this one to 20. Okay, so what are we going to do? We divide this side 2, we divide the other side 2 to get rid of these 2. So this one becomes 3x minus 2 is equals to 10. Okay, this side remains 10. Then want to find the value of x, so we are going to have 10 minus 2 and 3x, therefore equal to 8. Divide 3. Let me just bring it. So it will be 3x is equals to 8. Divide 3. divide 3, and x therefore 3 into 8 is 2, remainder 2 divide 3. That is the value of x. Okay, so that is how you simply work it out. Right, so thank you very much for staying up to this point. See you in the next one.